Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. The Premier League is back. Dun, 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 dun. You remember the old Premier League intros? I miss those Premier League intros from back in the day. But it's a new season. It's Man United up fast, and what a game to be playing fast in the Premier League. That is, this is going to be a very interesting game right off the bat. It depends on how you're looking at this game. You can look at it two different ways. The first one, you can look at it like, this is United that finished like, 15th, 16th last season. They had a terrible season. They allowed Tottenham to win a trophy. You can say, a recent record against Man United has been very good. So it's a game where you look at it and you should be like, yeah, we should be winning this game. But you can also look at it from the other side, which is we rarely win at Old Trafford in Premier League history. You can also look at it from the point of view that Man United last season against the bigger teams, they rarely lost. They went to Liverpool and drew. They went to Man City and won. They came to our place and beat us in the FA Cup. So they usually do well against big teams. But you can also look at it from the Arsenal point of view of us winning this game and say, we rarely lose against the bigger teams and the top six teams over the last 2-3 years. So it's a game we should be winning. But if you also consider the new signings, it's going to be a difficult game. Maybe Man United don't know what to expect from Arsenal, and Arsenal don't know what to expect from Man United in terms of the new signings, which we'll talk about later on in this video. But it's Man United against Arsenal in the opening day. That is crazy. We've never played them in the opening day. Actually, the entire August in Premier League history, we've played them only 3 times in August. One game really stands out. The 8-2 was in August, but that was very late in August. We never played each other in the opening game of this season. So this is very new, especially away from home. It's going to be very interesting. If you win this game, what a start to the season. What a start to the season. But if you're going to lose this game, it would be a terrible start. And on top of that, you lose your record against the top 6 teams. And Man United start the season very well, motivated for the rest of the season. You don't really want that to happen. So it's going to be very interesting. So we'll go through how both teams did in preseason, the record that we have against United, the new signings, my lineup for this game, going to be interesting. I've put a couple of polls on YouTube asking you guys who you'd start at left back, who'd start at right back. And there's been a couple of interesting answers. And then obviously at the end, my prediction for this game. But last season in the Premier League was not great. I enjoyed the Champions League last season. We had a good run in the Carabao Cup. There's still a few games in the Premier League that are really good. West Ham was good away from home. I enjoyed the Brentford game away from home. Ipswich away from home at the end of the season was great. Man City at home was great. So there was still some good results. But overall, the entire season, there's a point where it got to like February and very few Arsenal fans are even looking forward to the Premier League games, whether it is because, we were so far behind Liverpool and, the games itself, the way we were playing weren't interesting enough, and we were, drawing so many games, struggling at home against so many teams. But away from home, we usually do well against these top teams, especially. We do very, very well since Arteta came in. There's a point where we're being trashed in these games, but usually these days going away to these teams, I usually expect us to pick up something. So hopefully that is the case in this one. Now, in preseason, we both played 5 games. Arsenal won 3. We drew. We didn't draw any. We lost 2. We won 3. Man United drew 3 and won 2. So they didn't lose any games at all, but they did end up drawing 3. We both scored 9 goals in the 5 games. We conceded 6. They conceded 5, and then there was 2 clean sheets for us and 1 clean sheet for them. Both teams actually played a lot of Premier League teams. We played teams like Newcastle and Tottenham. They played teams like Bournemouth and Everton as well. So both teams have been playing a lot of Premier League teams in preseason. So if you just look at preseason, I think it's almost a similar record. They are unbeaten in preseason, but it's almost a similar record. Some United fans weren't too happy about the way they ended the preseason. For us, we ended the preseason on a high against Bilbao, but obviously the new signings didn't really play most of these games. You'd expect Cunha to fill in for them. You'd expect Mbeumo to play a part. You'd expect Sesko to play a part. Yako has only started 2 games. Madueke hasn't really started. Mendy only started twice. So the new signings, you'd expect them to play in this game. Maybe not all of them, but they'll definitely feature in this one. Now, in terms of our record against Man United, as I mentioned at the beginning, at Old Trafford, you don't usually play well. There's so many times we've gone to Old Trafford where we expected to win and we still end up losing. The Rashford one usually stands out as well, where Rashford was a young size first game and they still ended up beating us on that day. Our overall record at Old Trafford since 1992, we've only won there 5 times in the Premier League. And very, very interesting. The 5 games that we've won there, all of them have been 1-0. There was the 98 one and the 2002, which we ended up winning the titles, obviously. I think it was Overmars and Wiltord scoring those goals. There was the one that Adebayo scored. There's the one that Aubameyang scored a penalty in 2020. And then recently where Trossard scored a goal against them in 2 seasons ago. And we went all the way until the final day competing against Man City. But that is it. We never even usually score more than one goal whenever we win there. But if you look at the last 10 games against United overall in the Premier League, we've won 6, they've won 2, we've drawn 2. So we have a very, very good record against them, especially when they come to the Emirates Stadium. I usually expect 3 points. When you go there these days, I'm not as scared as I used to be back in 2011, 12, 13, there when they had Rooney and Sir Alex Ferguson and those guys. Those days it used to be very scary. But these days it's not as scary as it used to be. But you still obviously have to give them their respects. Although they lost a lot of games at Old Trafford last season, as I said, they still played really well against the top teams, including us. They should have beaten us at Old Trafford at the end of last season. I think it was March. They should have beaten us in that game. Raya made so many incredible saves in that game. It should have been a win for United. So let's hope this time around we can see some changes. Let's hope that we can go then keep on the good record, keep the good record going against United, keep the good record going against the top teams. Obviously, we've not lost to Liverpool like 2 seasons now, and still same 2 seasons now, maybe even more for Liverpool. I think we've gone like 3 seasons or something without losing to Liverpool, 2 or 3. United, it's been a long time as well. I think it was the 2022 when they last beat us in the Premier League. So can we keep these records going? Hopefully. So it's a big game for Mikel Arteta as well, and the lineup too. Which lineup will he go for? We'll talk about that one as well. But big game. Obviously, everyone is looking forward to seeing the lineup, to see the tactics they're going to use in this game. Is it going to be different between this game and the Leeds game next week? It should be. Yeah, it definitely should be. We expected to play different at home. Now, going into this game last season, we didn't have players like Saka, we didn't have players like Havertz, they're all injured. We didn't have players like Gyökeres, they hadn't joined Arsenal. So this time you're going there with more options. There's still a couple of injuries like Trossard, but they also have more options. Last time they were fielding players like Zaxi and Hoyland, I think, off the bench. If you look at the lineup last time, they had Casemiro, Eriksen, players like that, Zaxi, Garnacho. Those players are not going to start this game. For us, we had players like Partey, we had players like Jorginho in that team, Nwaneri. Those ones are not going to start this game. We actually, our front three, when we played United last time, it was Merino, Trossard, and Nwaneri. That front three totally be different this time. That front three will also totally be different this time. Now, they play a different formation, a formation that Gyökeres understands with his former manager there. They play with a back three. When they're defending, it's a back five. When they're attacking, it's a back three. So you can get spaces in the winger position. So that is where we're going to be looking for Gyökeres to make runs in behind. You're going to be looking for Saka and Martinelli to do a great job over the in the wing. Whoever's playing fullback, the overlapping fullbacks, how are they going to feature in this game? It's going to be interesting. So they have Cunha, they have Sesko, they have Mbeumo. I expect at least two of them to start. I don't know if Sesko is ready to start. For us, I think Gyökeres will definitely start. Zubimendi will definitely start. For Madueke, I think Martinelli is going to start. And then obviously we have other players who are going to come off the bench like Noga, then probably Mosquera. But it's going to be a very interesting game. Now, if you look at this game right now, you probably say it's going to be a draw, because that is what it usually is most of the times, if it's not a win for them back in the day. And right now, would you say they have enough to beat us? I wouldn't say so. So it would be looking like a draw, but I'm hoping we get this win. But which kind of lineup would I go for if I was Mikel Arteta? So we actually do have options this time around. We actually, even without Trossard, who's injured, we still have like 20 players we can pick in this game, especially defensively. We have all players fit and all of them can play in this one, so we can use whichever option we want. So I did put polls on YouTube, and I started with the left back position. I asked guys, would you like to see Calafiori at left back, or would you like to see Lewis Skelly at left back, or would you like to see Timber at left back? That was the question, because we saw Timber coming on the other day. Not coming on, you switched to left back at some point in that game against Bilbao. I thought maybe this is a way to prepare for that United game. Last time we played United in March, we actually had a back four of Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, and Calafiori, and that is the difference that you guys have voted for in terms of what you want to see. Surprisingly, Calafiori actually won that poll in terms of left back. Now, for me, I do like all of those players: Timber, Lewis Skelly, Calafiori, like all of them at left back, whichever is playing, depending on the game. If it's I want a more attacking display from the left back position, I'm going to go for Calafiori. He's very good in terms of going forward. His technique is very good. Running up and down is very good. If you just want solid defense, you go for Timber. Lewis Skelly is also a good defender, but if you also need someone to go into midfield, push the ball forward in those midfield positions, we need dangerous free kicks in and around the box, you go for Lewis Skelly. But obviously, that will be United's strong side with Mbuemo if he starts, and with Diallo need to be very defensively solid there. And for Calafiori, I'm not sure if I would bank on him to give me 60 minutes against Mbuemo and Diallo. So that is why I'm going to go for a more defensive tactic for that left side. But according to you guys, the votes, Calafiori got 54%, Lewis Skelly got 26%, Timber got 21%. And then for right back, you went for Timber 81% and Ben White 19%. So I'm actually going to disagree with both of those polls because this is my starting lineup. So in goal, I've gone obviously with David Raya. That is my goalkeeper for sure. The best goalkeeper in the league last season. Some of you didn't really like Raya in pre-season, but for me, I don't think he's anywhere near our biggest problem. For me, he's a very good shot stopper. Obviously, you don't want him off his line all the time and give Bruno Fernandes an opportunity to chip him from the midfield, because he probably has that ability to do that if you give him that opportunity. But Raya stays in goal for me. Now, defensively, Gabriel and Saliba at centre back. I think that is very easy. I think all of you guys will agree with that. There was some point it was looking like we'd need Kivio Calafiori to start at centre back if Gabriel is not fit, but Gabriel came in the other day against Bilbao and he looks like he's never been away right away. Very, very good partnership that you have here. I don't know how many 90 minutes Gabriel can play as of now, if he's 100% fully fit, or is he going to be needed to be subbed off, or is he going to be needed to get subbed off at any point of any games in the first 3 games. Tough start, by the way. After Leeds, it's Liverpool, and then after the international break, it's Nottingham, Man City, Newcastle. It's a tough start, so we're going to need our best players to be fit. But that is the centre-back position. I don't think anyone has an argument with that one. Full-back is where it is. So I've told you guys, you voted for Calafiori. You voted for Timber at right back. And last season, when he played United at Old Trafford, it was Timber and Calafiori at full back. But for me, this is what I'm going to go for. I'm going to go for Ben White at right back, and I'm going to go for Timber at left back. Now, just for this game, Timber at left back. The other games, I'm very, very happy. Listen, if Calafiori and Lewis Skelly start, I still don't have a problem. I'm still trying to go. I'm just going with the best option for me in terms of, trying to keep that side of theirs quiet with Mbuemo and Diallo, because that is the side that they're going to use most of the time. So I'm just going to go for a defender who's good one-on-one marking up against Mbuemo. I think Timber is the guy. For Calafiori, if we need some attacking option, he can come on in the second half for this game. And Lewis Skelly, if he starts in this one, absolutely no problem. I'm absolutely fine with that as well. But I'm going to go for Timber. Why as well? Because I feel like Ben White has been very good at right back in preseason. So that's the other reason I'm going to go for that. Actually, that is my main reason, because Ben White has been very good in preseason. So I think he deserves to start. And I don't think we can bench Timber in a game like this. So you move Timber to the left back position. Obviously, as well, Calafiori needs to be protected in terms of the injury, so you don't want him to play every single game. You pick and choose which games you're going to play him in. So if you have Timber in the first half, and then, at any point you can bring on Lewis Skelly as well, depending on who needs to come off. Mosquera is an option as well. We have a very good defense right now, but that is what I've gone for. Let me know if you disagree. From the polls, you guys disagree, but that is what I'm going to go for. Now, midfield, it gets interesting as well. You can see the formation I've gone for, and that is because Rice and Zubimendi were absolutely fantastic in a double pivot against Bilbao. And this is an away game. This is what I'd like to see as well, because United will have Bruno Fernandes there. They'll have, I don't even know who else they'll have. Ugarte, I think Ugarte should start. I don't think Casemiro starts. I should have looked at which lineup they went for in preseason, but they do have options in that midfield for sure. But I think we have a better midfield than them. That is a place where we can definitely try to, be better than them in the game. And when you win the midfield battle, you're in a very good place. So Rice and Zubimendi start for me. If they click, win the midfield battle, we're in a very good position, both defensively and offensively. If they play anywhere near like the way they did against Bilbao, we're in a very good place. I really loved the way, Rice and Zubimendi are coming back. Zubimendi is going up front sometimes. Rice was dropping back sometimes. And Rice is a very good defender as well. So we've seen his attacking attacking qualities, but he's a very good defender of the ball there, making the tackles and all that. And if he's up against Bruno there, I'd feel safer. Number 10, obviously, it's going to be Odegaard, given the free roll. He can drift to the left side, he can drift to the right side, just like we did against Bilbao. There's sometimes where Odegaard was like the third centre back, and then Zubimendi and Rice were the ones who were pushing forward. I like the flexibility against Bilbao. So we need a big season from Odegaard. It wasn't a good season last season at all. Rice, it was great. Zubimendi, you've seen the way he started. Hopefully that combination can work out, because we need our midfield to be, as solid as possible and move the ball as quickly as possible, create chances as often as possible. We need them to do all of that, and Zubimendi and Odegaard and Rice can all of them can do that. So there's Zubimendi assist. Odegaard is on a few corners and free kicks. Same with Rice, is on corners and free kicks, and just open play overall. You expect Odegaard to create those chances. Hopefully we can see more numbers from Martin Odegaard this season. Up front, who have I gone for? This is what I've gone for. Gyökeres up front, obviously. Saka on the right side, obviously. And then Martinelli on the left side. Now, some people can argue it can be Madueke. Madueke has looked better than Martinelli in terms of going forward. But because it's Man United, and as I've said, we're going to need some defense on that side, because they're going to have Diallo and Mbeumo on that side. I'm sure Arteta would want someone to come back and defend. Now, for the other games like Leeds at home, there you can be very different. We can start with Madueke. We can play Calafiori at left back, attack more. This is a game we still expect to win, obviously. But obviously, they still have good signings. You have to give players like Mbeumo their respect. You can't just go attack and concede 2-3 goals. Last time we played them, they should have scored 3-4 goals against us. So it's not going to be an easy game. They usually do well against the top teams. So that is what I've gone for up front. And on the bench, I've put 10 players on the bench, but obviously we can only have 9. So one of the defenders is going to miss. So as you can see, we actually do have a score to the point where some players are going to miss out from the bench. Last season, we did not have that luxury. So hopefully we can still add a couple of more players in the transfer window and put ourselves in such a solid position. So obviously you expect Havertz to be there 100%. You expect Madueke to be there 100%. You'd expect Noga to be there. You'd expect Lewis, Skelly, Calafiori, Mosquera to be there, and Kepa. So I think Nwaneri is the one that actually could end up missing out on the bench, but I doubt. I think Nwaneri will be there as well, because there's 4 defenders on that bench that I've put there. I think one of them is going to miss out from the matchday squad. Now, who is going to miss out? I don't know if they're going to just leave out Kivio because of the links in terms of going out as of now, just to, keep him fresh, and then after the transfer window is over, then Kivia can start being used. But yeah, we do actually have a lot of options, because Zinchenko have not put him there. Dauman is on holiday. If he's back, is he going to have a spot on the bench as well? So we could actually have a bench of 13, 14 players without any injuries. So that would be great. So in this game, if you're still struggling for a goal, then obviously you can bring on Havertz, maybe take off one of the midfielders or defender, or whichever is going to want. Madueke can obviously come on for either Saka or Martinelli, depending on how the game is going. If you're going to be needed to defend, we don't have a problem with that. You have options of most scale. Calafiori can also be used as an attacking option in this game, coming on for Timber, Ben White, however. And then defensively, if you need some defensive reinforcements in the last 10 minutes, 20 minutes, you have Norgard there, you have Mosquera there, you have Lewis Skelly there. Marin is an option for attacking wise. So it's a good position to be in terms of the lineup. That is what I'm going for now. Prediction for this game. Do I think we're going to win? I'm going to go for yes. I think it could be 1-1 for most of the game, but I think we're going to get a second goal. So I'm going to go for Man United 1, Arsenal 2. Both teams were able to score in most of the preseason games, and both teams were conceding goals as well. United conceded in all 4 of their last 5 games, and we also conceded 3 to Villarreal, 2 to Newcastle. So I'd go for both teams to score. I'm going to go for Man United 1, Arsenal 2. I'm going to go for Saka to score and for Gyökeres to score, and probably a new signing for them to score, maybe Mbeumo or something, or Cunha, one of them. So maybe even Sesko. The way things are going, probably Sesko and Gyökeres probably all score in this game. But yeah, that is my prediction. Let me know your prediction. Let me know your starting lineup. What did you go for? Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one. The Premier League is back. I cannot wait.